Cat rescued after a fire at a home in the Villages. The lithium batteries are blamed for a fire that started in the garage at a home in the Villages. Lightning is confirmed to be the cause of a ferocious fire at a home in the Villages. A new Dunkin' Donuts is coming to Lake Deaton Plaza. Hooters restaurant is getting close to open. A landlord in the Villages says it's my home and I like it the way it is. An illegal alien was arrested after a late night stop at one of our squares. A sex offender that struck out in New York came back to Wildwood and was arrested. More troubles at Wawa. How many holes in ones of golf do we get this week? Letters to the editor. This and more coming up. Thanks everybody for joining us this week for the final news report until we get back from our trip. A cat was rescued after a fire broke out Thursday night at a home in the Villages. The Villages Public Safety Department was called to a blaze in the 3300 block of Dalkeith Terrace in the village of Charlotte. Medic 45 arrived first and reported heavy fire and smoke showing, said VPSD Deputy Chief of Operations Robert Ramage. Battalion 402 arrived and reported heavy black turbulent smoke showing from the entire residence. Battalion 402 established command and declared that this would be a defensive attack due to the full involvement of the fire and smoke, Ramage said. Firefighters quickly laid a hose line in from the hydrant to establish a water supply, setting up multiple hose lines. They brought the fire under control and prevented the fire from spreading into neighboring houses. No one was home, but the firefighters rescued the cats. Good job, guys. What would we do without them? Quick action by the Villages Public Safety Department prevented a ferocious fire from spreading to neighboring homes. A lightning strike is suspected of sparking the blaze shortly before 7 p.m. Saturday in the 1800 block of Lancaster Lane in the village of Winterford. Multiple callers reported smoke and flames coming from the roof of the home. Upon arrival, units had a single-story structure with heavy smoke and flames throughout 80% of the building and through the roof. The first unit on the scene, Engine 40, deployed multiple hose lines and attacked the fire with the assistance of other arriving crews. Firefighters entered the home to confirm that no one was home. Neighbors later reported that the couple that owns the home had headed back to Wisconsin. Crews had to be evacuated from the structure due to a collapse concern. The fire was brought under control and the crews began the process of overhaul. He confirmed that it appears the fire was caused by lightning, and though devastating for the homeowners, firefighters were successful in stopping the blaze from spreading to neighboring homes. Due to our quick response and the actions of our crew, the damage was confined to this structure. Crews were able to protect the exposures, homes on both sides of this home, and extinguish the fire. Ramage added that no firefighter or civilian were injured due to the fire. Good job, boys. Another job well done. Lithium-ion batteries and a battery charger appear to be the source of a fire which erupted Thursday night in the village of McClure. The village's public safety department responded to the home in the 2500 block of Carruthers Path after a report of smoke coming from the garage. When the first firefighters arrived on the scene, they found heavy smoke billowing from the eaves of the home, according to the VPSD Deputy Chief of Operations, Robert Ramage. Firefighters made entry into the structure and encountered high heat and smoke conditions banked down to the floor. Water was quickly put on the fire, and crews were able to remove the garage door and set up a ventilation at the front door. Interior crews searched for any fire extension into the walls and into the attic. The bulk of the fire was in the garage. Once the fire was under control, crews conducted salvage and overhaul. SECO was called to secure the utilities. The cause of the fire appears to be from lithium-ion batteries and a battery charger in the garage. I've stressed this before. You have to understand what lithium batteries are. There's different types of lithium batteries. There's pros and cons about them. There's things you need to know. Just don't buy a lithium battery for a car or for your golf cart without understanding a little bit about it. On Saturday night, a suspected lightning strike caused a fire and destroyed a home in Winifred. In times like this, residents often ask about the efficiency of lightning protection systems, commonly called lightning rods. Do lightning protection systems work? This question has been asked and answered from inventor Benjamin Franklin's time up to the present. They do function as designed based on overwhelming evidence collected over 2 centuries and exhaustive research found in the public domain. This includes studies conducted by NASA, NASA, University of Florida, and Iowa Fire Marshal's Office, the Ontario Fire Marshal's Office, Underwriters Laboratories, and several branches of the military. Air traffic controllers' towers are equipped with LPS, lighting protection systems, to protect sensitive electronics for critical air safety operations. They also benefit from instrumentations to count the number of lightning strikes received by the LPS. A Federal Aviation Administration study showed that the Tampa Control Tower recorded 25,000 lightning strikes with no damage. The Orlando Control Tower experienced 20,000 lightning strikes with loss of 1 telephone line. The above demonstrates that LPS do work if they are designed, installed, and maintained according to the National Standard on Lightning, National Fire Protection Association's -780 standard for the installation of lightning protection systems. This standard was first issued by the NFPA in 1904 and has been updated 30 times since by a panel of lightning experts. Caution: this is a buyer's beware marketplace because there is no state or local certification for LPS installers and no building permits with follow-up inspections. The industry does police itself when LPS firms become listed by Underwriters Laboratories and their installers pass 4 closed-book proctored exams to qualify as master installers by the Lightning Protection Institute. Also, beware that firms found in the Yellow Pages or on the internet may not meet the above UL and LPI criteria. Here's my thoughts on this. Can you imagine how much money the insurance company's paying out in Florida, because we're to have more lightning strikes in the state of Florida than any place else in the United States anyway. More here than anywhere. If lightning rods are that protective, how come the insurance companies don't chip in and help pay for some of this stuff? I say that because how long it was when everybody was getting free solar panels. Everybody's advertising it, free solar panels, because they wanted you to produce the electricity for the electric company to backcharge other people, right? That's what they were doing, buying your electricity, but they wanted you to produce it, which has a problem in itself, but that's a whole nother story. Now they got lightning rods. It's going to protect your house. It's going to save you money. It's going to protect everybody. Well, the only one that really is going to save on this is going to be the insurance companies. How's come they're not chipping in here? My thoughts. A landlord in the village has protested an apparent deed compliance violation, telling a hearing officer, "It's my property and I like it that way." Pamela Carasquello owns the home at 6287 Millagros Court in the village of Citrus Grove, which was the subject of deed compliance hearing Monday before Special Master Terry Neal at the district office at Brownwood. It is a rental property, and Carasquello owns and lives in another nearby home. She testified at the hearing. A complaint was lodged by Community Standards on February 18th about weeds and the rental property. The property was brought into compliance on April 4. Another complaint was received on May 8 when the weeds returned. This meant that Carasquello was at a risk of being labeled a recurring violation. Carasquello made it abruptly clear in her testimony that she bristled at the possibility of being in a recurring violation category. She brought lawn service receipts, claimed she'd never received proper notice of the violation, and wanted to play voicemail messages from Community Standards staffers claiming they had been unclear in their instructions to her. The special master, who is a retired Lake County judge, pointed to the photographic evidence submitted by Community Standards. "I am looking at the pictures from May 29, and there are weeds all over the place," Judge Neal said. That ignited a back and forth between Carasquello and the special master. Carasquello said that the special master was pointing to grass and not weeds. Carasquello also complained it is impossible to get a mower up on the landscape bed. "But you can get a weed whacker up there," Judge said. Carrasquillo refused to surrender. "It's my property, and I like it that way," Carrasquillo said. "I like the way it looks. My tenant has not complained." Judge Neal held firm. "It makes no difference. It has to come out," Judge Neal said. Carrasquillo was given 7 days to bring her property to compliance. If she fails to do so, she could be fined. She would also be classified as a repeat offender. Now, you might say, well, what's the big deal? Repeat offender. The fines go higher. I think the first time that you get found guilty, if you don't get it brought up into compliance by a certain date, then it's something like $50 a day until you do. As a repeat offender, that fine could be elevated to, say, $100 a day or $150 a day or whatever the judge feels like it should be. And I will say this, you got a right to argue with the judge, but he's still the judge. A sex offender who struck out in New York was arrested after returning to Wildwood. Jason Daniel Rignall, 42, was being held without bond this weekend at the Sumter County Detention Center after his arrest on 2 counts of failure to comply with sexual offender registration requirements. Rignall served time in Florida's prison from 2013 to 2018 after he was convicted in Marion County of unlawful sexual activity with a minor. He was living in Wildwood after his release from prison. Rignall announced on March 20th that he was moving to New York, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. However, he returned April 4 to his previous residence at 600 Pleasantdale Drive in Wildwood without registering with local law enforcement. He later reported he had been unsuccessful in finding housing in New York. Games that they play. 2 crowd pleasers are getting closer to completion at a shopping plaza in the Villages. A new Dunkin' Donuts location is currently under construction at Lake Deaton Plaza near the Rohan Recreation Center. An opening date has yet to be announced, but construction of the coffee and donut eatery is well underway. When completed, it will be the 5th Dunkin' Donuts in the Villages, joining popular locations at Southern Trace Plaza, Colony Plaza, Brownwood, and the southernmost location on US 301 and Warm Springs Avenue. Brisk progress is being made on the new Hooters restaurant coming to Lake Deaton Plaza. The Hooters restaurant, to be located at Lake Deaton Plaza, will be 4,500 square feet inside and will also offer an outdoor patio. Ground was broken in January for the first Hooters in Florida's friendliest hometown. HMC Hospitality Group CEO Neil Kuiper said villagers have been asking for a Hooters. He has hinted that there could be more coming. In addition to the Villages restaurant, HMC Hospitality Group is also expanding with Hooters locations in Wesley Chapel and Las Vegas. In addition to being golf cart accessible, both Dunkin' Donuts and Hooters will be appealing to customers traveling on State Road 44. I gotta tell you, just my own personal opinion, I've been to a lot of Dunkin' Donuts in our travels, and the one at Brownwood, as far as I'm concerned, has went to hell in a handbasket. And if all Dunkin' Donuts are going to turn out like the one in Brownwood, we need something different. Police arrested 2 people with fentanyl and methamphetamine in the parking lot at, any guesses? Wawa. Jordan Michael Horner, 35 of Ocala, and John Conrad, 44 of Williston, were traveling in a gray Mazda 5, which was spotted at about 4:30 p.m. Saturday in the parking lot of the Wawa at US 301 and County Road 466, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. There was drug paraphernalia in plain view in the vehicle, prompting a search. Horner and Conrad were both found to be in possession of drugs as well as drug paraphernalia. Both were taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. Bond for Conrad was set at $6,000. Horner was being held without bond because she was also wanted on Marion County warrants. She was arrested in 2024 in Marion County on drug charges. You know, I look at these people, and maybe it's just because we already know they've been arrested for drugs, but just look at them. They look like they got problems. When they see themselves in the mirror, you got to wonder what they see. Do they see themselves? Okay, how many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Looks like 3. A Village of Newell golfer was thrilled to get her first hole-in-one. Leah Bennett scored the lucky ace on Wednesday, May 21 at hole number 6 at the Sarasota Executive Golf Course at 72 yards using an 8-iron. Well, congratulations on your first hole-in-one, Leah. Frank McIsaac of the village of St. James got his first hole-in-one on Thursday, May 22 at hole number 4 at the Mangrove Executive Golf Course at 157 yards with a 3-wood. Well, congratulations on your first hole-in-one, Frank. Bev Travers of the Azale Villas in the village of Bonnybrook aced her third hole-in-one on May 21 at hole number 9 at Oakley Executive Golf Course at 100 yards. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Bev. How about everybody's favorite letters to the editor? I see the loft apartments that are being offered at Spanish Springs Town Square and can't figure out who they are intended for. Are they really senior citizens who want to live with music from the square 7 nights a week? Are these apartments even intended for seniors? Is this a plot to pull the plug on the music at the square? That's sent in by Joanne Newton from the village of Charlotte. Well, Joanne, I talked about this a couple of years ago. I did video from downtown Spanish Springs back when the movie theater was rumored to close permanently and move the exercise center that was upstairs at the La Rayon building over to the movie theater, which they've already done now. I was up there yesterday and I saw it. And now they're revamping all of Spanish Springs and they got all these surprise moves going on. You got the Daily Sun moving out. You got the apartments moving in. This is nothing new. We had Katie Bill's. That was a resident-only place to go for us. Only residents. You had to have your card to get in. They had a person sitting outside checking all cards. And they had a band in there and a dance floor and a private bar, and you could buy food in there, and they had tables to set. It was a nice place. I liked Katie Bell's a lot. They took it away from us, like they've taken everything away. And now it's got upstairs in Katie Bell's where the steakhouse used to be up there. Now there's, I think, 6 or 7 apartments up there. Now they've been up there for, I'm going to say a year, maybe a little bit longer than a year. And they've been living out there with that music. Now, I don't know if they design it differently to soundproof it. Don't know. But the place down there where you're talking about, where they're going to be building those, I think there's 6 apartments they're going to put in where the old Daily Sun newspaper is at now, but moving it out to Brownwood. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I see a lot of changes being made like a corporate would make it, not like a family would make it, and not like anybody really cares about this being a retirement community. And I say that loosely. I don't like what I see. Things ain't looking good. Let me throw you in on another little rumor that we heard. It's a rumor. Remember I said that. It's just a rumor. But I also said it was a rumor about Citizens Bank being sold out. I mentioned that 6 months ago in one of the news reports. It was a rumor that I heard. And now I found out Citizens Bank has been sold. Here's another rumor. That the lofts of Brownwood, that huge apartment complex at Brownwood, is in stages of being sold. Don't know if that's true. It's just a rumor that I heard. We'll see. To the editor, for your information to those people, as it pertains to metal roof and approval from Architectural Review Committee, 2 years ago, I submitted a request for a metal roof on my villa, and it was approved. The metal was made and looked just like shingles. I did not follow through with installation as the cost of installation was very high, and finding someone to do the installation was limited. There are homes in my area that have had metal roofs for 20 years or more. Homes are treated differently than villas when it comes to roofing. So my point being, ARC has and will approve metal roofs. That's sent in by Richard Yoder from the Villa of De La Mesa. To the editor, there really are many good people in the villages. Recently, I was driving my golf cart in the area of Havana Country Club. My clubs fell off the back of my cart. Oh, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. Not a lot, but you hit a bump and if they're not in there right, there they are. They're all over the golf cart trail. It's kind of embarrassing. A man in another golf cart immediately began honking to make sure I was aware my clubs had taken a tumble. Couples in 2 other golf carts also stopped to help me and make sure I was okay. I was more embarrassed than anything else. I can understand that. I'm really proud to live in a place where people you don't know are always ready to help. That's saying by Sandy Tillison from the village of St. James. Well, thanks, Sandy. Appreciate that. And I appreciate if the people watch this news, they appreciate you appreciating them. Okay, that's going to be the quick news this week. You're going to see a difference in this news. I'm not going to do a whole lot of news. I'm not going to do a lot to the pictures to clear them up a little bit. It is what it is. I'm going to put it out there so you got something, but this will be the last news until I get back from our trip. And so I'll apologize for the news and maybe the way it comes out. I don't know how it's going to come out, but it is what it is, and you got some of it. I thank you for watching, and Patreon members, I appreciate every one of you. You know I do. Patreon, you're going to get some things while I'm gone to kind of help keep you going, I guess. Hopefully when I get back that maybe POS 1 is up and going. So you guys hang in there until we get back, and then hopefully I'll take a lot of video, and hopefully things will go good, and we'll see you maybe in about 3 or 4 weeks or so. And with that being said, I'm just going to say be well. Stay safe, stay aware, take care of yourself, take care of your health until we get back.
Don't leave your key in that golf cart.
This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members.